What's up? There's been a situation in the program where things are coming up missing. Some sheets were wet. We couldn't find out Saturday. We couldn't find on Saturday. Jesse. Uh, Friday night there was water in our room dorm 14. I didn't know how it got there. A really big puddle. Neither did Jason. One or two people in the room. Jason didn't resolve the matter. We didn't see Paul or a new guy all Saturday. Lunch and dinner went great along with breakfast. Something went wrong in the restroom as well. Corey was in there. He said he saw a guy in shower. He didn't. He insists he didn't. There was a razor blade found around 7:35 or 7:40 in shower. Jason was the last I seen use it, and on my tour I emptied trash cans in restrooms and saw blood on bag. However, didn't involve Mr. Jesse about it until later that in the time frame of 7:40 and 7:45 earlier, the other garbage can was missing in the restroom. Mr. Jesse stated they found it in my room. I've just been guaranteed noticing. Peer mentors haven't been observing or tell the truth about how big situations are on weekends. P.S. It was good when Scott wasn't here. Mr. Rick and office staff. I felt well. I think really I know. I find it hard to bother you in your office in your free time with truth when you have these people around you who shouldn't bother your kind-heartedness, push your gratitude farther than supposed to. People with their power want to establish their own comfort. They want to establish their own comfort. They want to their own comfort. It puts me at a slant of miscommunication because I must be held accountable for my well-being inside the program to prosper. Accountable, I've studied this word and in my own life have wondered about this in great thought for years. This opportunity is here now. I'm enthusiastic to have it. I could have pushed myself forward with this word or learn it into my definition in life. Yet it's well be the only definition ever documented. I would read this documentation, I would say, man, you will not prosper, never to me in life. But by your actions you've shown. You use AA well today, but tomorrow you won't. You must have to learn AA better than me. Because in the situation where Jesse wants to do things, he wants to do things that he wants to do. He doesn't want to do things. I was trying to get on me and think he doesn't want to do things that cause for not him having everything go his way, even if no one's in the house. And they're not on the same page, and they told each other this and that, and there's a lot of miscommunication, and it gets back to the staff office on Monday, and it's not very good or it's important, and it leaves anybody out of the way besides them. And so whoever they want in the house, and the situation between the razor blade was some guys was wanting to, in between me and you, just out in the hallway, keep it anonymous. They want people to, they would give them all the power they could, and they was doing the same thing other than Scott with Jesse, was telling Jason he was God, and he'll get him kicked out, send him to detox, and Jason probably got a place to live, I guess. And so I was going to make no steps to phase up or work better. I don't know what to tell them because I can't be helping them every day of life, really the truth about it. And so if AA and 360 people and upstairs and people over at AA and 360, they don't want to communicate. The people over there, they, if we could look through here. I'm gonna have in my folder some worksheets. You know, the worksheets, goal assignments, contracting for change, fair fighting rules. Before you begin, ask yourself why you feel upset. You know, in the back parking lot, you know, after class, you know, after we came out of our dorms and hang out, a lot of things what they do are different from the things what happen downstairs. It's a lot different. They don't always involve themselves with not mischief, but that it's you know, their opportunity in life to be their self and meet new friends and be able to network and AA and fellowship, you know, such as FCA does and a lot of youth groups. It's a perfect example. It's no really different. They're gonna be like, we're trying to establish everything comfortable in our house where we can do drugs and we can drink and we can get things done and even miss the camera, and they're gonna be so much in a haste, they're ain't gonna do it. I don't wanna put myself in the situation to get kicked out for one of their stories or lies or fibs can be the main thing you want to endorse off of staff. I won't do that. Get kicked out on their behalf. I'll tell you guys the truth that I've seen there, and you know, no yelling. You know, sometimes arguments are won by being the loudest, but the problem only gets worse. So I've talked to the AA guys, the 360 guys, and upstairs guys, and they won't be in that situation to complain and tell you or anybody else. Honestly, they're soft-spoken as well. What was happening between Scott, Jesse, Gordon, and who all they're having their group and what all they're doing. So I'll speak to you on their behalf as such as the same thing as another worksheet. You know, so you got relapse prevention plan to avoid relapse. Cravings will eventually pass. You know, the situation what Scott was doing, his cravings stopped and he kept working on them and doing them, so it didn't pass. Do your best to distract yourself and ride it out. So that's what I had to do in the situation. I had to just sit in the situation and between Jesse and ride it out. I couldn't. And no, he's gonna try to kick me out, send me a detox on the weekend, or kick me just out. And I got to come try to see you guys when I have a place to go. I got to remove all my things back in, and things can't be well. And there's a lot of things been coming up missing. I even took my off it. The microwave, they're gonna do that and mischief in the house, and they're gonna give Jason and them sort of like powers behind you guys' back what they can do, and they're gonna do that. Like I said, I'll keep this anonymous as well. Don't become complacent. Relapse can happen years after you quit using it. Probably won't ever be safe to just have one. He's gonna keep coming back and coming back and coming back and like these notes and don't have these notes in the program to move forward and think only phase up has anything to do with Medicaid or Social Security or EBT benefits, you know, or things like this and things like that. He's gonna keep doing it, and Scott's gonna keep doing it, and Jesse, and probably even Gordon, and they're gonna try to say they can't get along with each other, and they're gonna want to put me in situations to say things to you guys, and they're gonna be like two people in the house that are gonna be having sort of kind of affair, and it's gonna be like they're going all the way out of their way to do it, and they want nobody to know, and it's happening, and they're having their affair, and they're having their arguments and things, and Jesse's one of his own personal private caves and make everything happen for him upstairs and downstairs. He wants things to happen for him upstairs and downstairs, so he's doing everything to do that, and it might can't work, and he's tired in between here and there, he wouldn't do that. He's gonna have class, and it's gonna be class, and we're gonna be able to get that checked off. It's no big deal, but you know, I'll just inform you guys of that as well. The decision to relapse is made when you put yourself in risky situations long before you actually use it. So if they come back to you and they tell you a lie and things like that, and they want you to believe that lie that they're not going to do this or that no more. You come back over the weekend and I'm not in there. It's because I didn't benefit Jesse Scott or Gore's plan to get drunk or high in the program behind you guys back still. Let's try to keep this still anonymous because I was sort of soft-spoken and shy. And I said, do your best to distract yourself and ride it out. I won't be so much in their way in the hallway. I'll still be doing things while I did the, ride it out. What situations that you will put you at risk or relapse, such as spending time with friends who use drugs or going to places that remind you of your past use. They're gonna bother Jason and them, and they're gonna offer them more time. And if in the house, they won't bother them personally. If you or any office staff member bother them, other clients in dorms, and they gotta talk to me about it, I'm gonna write it out, and then they're gonna be doing drugs or anything else what's gonna be in their relapse plan. When they cut us out of here and study or did homework, what they would do, I was just be a talkative. I just think you lose in that situation, you lose, you should. Else because you just will. And don't view relapse as failure. Falling back into all patterns because of a slip will only make the situation worse. What we feel talking community, but that's what Scott and them, Jesse, they're going to do. They're going to tell you this and they're going to tell you that. They're not going to do this. It's going to stop for a little while, but they're going to start back up into pattern. I've noticed this as I rolled out the situation many times. Consequences, how your life will change if you relapse. How about if you stay sober? You won't go over and do that and things like this or like that, and you got information to be better in this situation and in life and along with business, as Dr. Bill story and things like that. And Kevin talks about anchor control plan. He really hangs out with a lot of those guys and do that if he can. It comes back in and just falls back in place when he can, so you'll know what's going on here outside on the weekend. I'll just directly tell you that, sir. He does things on the weekend or wherever he does and tries to fall back in line. They can meet up wherever. And outside of the house, when you come back in, this sort of mysterious activity, there's been a lot of things between upstairs and downstairs just to try and get his way with upstairs and downstairs and people who wants to move here and move there and also have his drink. Relationship conflict resolution, that's the big situation where I speak on behalf of kids outside from upstairs and people who I talk to at here in 360. We got some house members over there and things like that. Hard sense, how well I can write. You heard, seen, want to learn AA better than me. You heard, sense how well I can write. Speak, read, so you know a drink will be more potent than any one you have seen here. I've sold, written for years to CBS, Fox, easily as a bow hunter has shot at a young age and been good and excellent. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm the best life coach in the world. And whenever I'm in this situation, drinking can make me not be here today looking at you sufficient like a college graduate or anybody else. It's the fact that you choose to drink, you choose to be at a stable ability in your life to can afford it, or you choose to concern yourself with another person drinking, going 85 miles per hour down the highway to can harm anyone else. If you set that example and thoroughly go towards it, that's going to be the problem. If you choose to celebrate Christmas with your family with a drink, that's not a problem. That's not being an alcoholic. It can become in between you and your work. And the narrator speaks very well in Alcoholics Anonymous. And the definition what I have for Alcoholics Anonymous is you can't walk around a college campus like Campbellsville University where I went at, and they said they was be interested in taking me or having me back in the program. You can't have a drink in some situations in past places like this was almost MT schedule. It's almost like an MT schedule. This school is. You can't do better, on the chart right here, while doing the same thing what Jesse did before, or Scott did before, or whoever did before. You can't learn in the program unless you want to benefit yourself. It's gonna be hard for some AA people to talk to persons who they know, and so I have to be a leader and stand up and can speak to you on behalf of them and tell you that some of the things that's running into them and it's bothering them, upstairs people and things like that, really about it. And Kevin, and other than that, the lesson sometimes what they teach when they do it is good. They just fall back into relapse, and they're gonna constantly keep doing them unless something can better happen. If I have a suggestions, if you wouldn't mind to hear them, I wouldn't mind to say. Well, if you've read, I'm not alcoholic. I'm the best. Well, you've read well better than others. You've dressed well, you've looked well, you've drank well better than others. Like a 5-year-old told me in 1991, you've seen well, you've read better than others, as their parents have known well and learned well and taught well better than others, as I have written. For many years you have read in the Bible, for many years you have learned that Jesus was Messiah. Listen, God doesn't choose to look upon Jesus' sins, so he walks upright. Jesus drank better than others. If this what you want, this what you have to get. You have to study, did this and learn. Can't think that I ever wasted 1 second day of my time in life. I never didn't. And that if this what you wanna have to get, this what you have to get. You have to study MHDDP. You have to study the Jacob's House rules. You can't just come here and live here and go here and relapse and go detox and smoke and drink every time when you feel like it. You can't do that. You have to read books outside the program. You have to make your life story count. I always end up getting the best things in my hand, like books. There's all type of alcoholic. There's this guy, I Drake, I have money and I have a family type of a guy. You can pretty much get it. There's the couple what makes $75,000 each fiscal year. There's the see, these are highlighted personally by themselves. You know what I'm saying? So you can learn from books. There's the family system. There's the nursing home drinkers. They're both not that old. They're 65 or 50 and they're still drinking. It's nothing wrong and they're still allegedly retired. There's the absolutely I'm doing nothing wrong and I don't have a problem drinker. And I'm on schedule type of a drinker, and I drink and I'm on schedule and it's not in front of people. There's the tidy drinker. I have everything organized. Organize the people. Don't feel free to not learn and stay with me as I teach you this, because he always seems to have things tidy. There's the I'm coming to the office to talk to you type of a guy. Same situation, the dude what makes excuses type of a drinker. You're not supposed to be drinking, shouldn't drink. There's the stick-up guy drinker who wants to play jokes with people with drinks. There's several type of drinkers. Sports commentator type of drinkers. And the other, such as the friend what's a sports commentator, the football fan type of a drinker. All type of drinkers in the world. And As long as they follow a certain amount of rules, it's not a problem. It's not a problem to get drunk. It's not a problem to get high. In certain situations, in certain cities and states, you should just know about political views and a lot of things like that before you want to do it. You should know everything what's about it, or you might well get in trouble. So if you could walk away, go to a meeting, call your sponsor who you have, call a friend, read the big book, eat candy, drink pop, pray, run, go shopping, meditate, exercise, take a nap, dig a hole, journal, walk around, you know what I'm saying, anything like that. For many years you have read or heard stories in the Bible. For many years you have learned that Jesus was Messiah. Listen, God doesn't choose to look upon Jesus' sin, so he walks upright. Jesus drank better than others. As this is what you want, this is what you got to get. If you want to push farther into studying the Bible, get your own definition, know what's legitimate. These will only be the end of the notes. In my life, these will be the best notes, and these will be the only notes. That's all what's ever be. If anybody was characterized themselves to do so, they was do, but they never won, and they never was win. He just chooses to look at yours. So Jesus, for many years, God made kings, queens, emperors, and their guests can drink better than others. He just chooses to look at yours, so you don't. We ask our higher power. You ask yours. God told you was wrong, so that Jesus had to suffer, so that you would believe that he still loved you anyways. Though he looked at Jesus better than others, if you study marbles, that's what you like. But you like alcohol, but you don't study it. Jamarius can write this paper because of the government. Arthur Anderson started an LLC because people are alcoholics. He want people to know his real name because alcoholics come looking for you, so he had to keep his information private in the government. You can know the whole back end of the whole other story. I don't know what the auditor's proof will say, but if you write an anonymous alcoholic letter or any anonymous, people will see your kind gesture. Because I stated I was one doesn't mean I was. You've admitted you were powerless over alcohol. I am not. Have you studied law? Have you studied grammar? The alcoholic is a very sick person, but you choose to drink. So the alcoholic is a very sick person, so you choose to drink. So I didn't say anything, but I don't have a drinking problem. Drinking and drugs can get in your way. A lot of times, teachers observe students medically other than mentally. They'll take you in their room and they'll concern themselves with giving you assignments